The mask that wept blood. Long ago, in the heart of a dense African rainforest, stood the kingdom of Ndoro, a realm so prosperous that its markets overflowed with gold, silk, and laughter. At its center sat Chief Obadele, a man whose presence commanded silence and whose eyes gleamed like polished obsidian. He was not born into royalty, he earned it through bravery, wisdom, and, most of all, his mysterious mask. The mask was carved from ancient ebony wood, polished to a deep sheen, and adorned with feathers of crimson and gold. It was said to have been gifted by the forest spirits themselves, who promised that whoever wore it would rule with unmatched might and protection. But the elders whispered that no gift from the spirits came without a cost. When Chief Obadele first wore the mask, the wind stopped, and thunder rolled across the sky. The earth trembled beneath his feet, and his voice echoed louder than the drums. He could command warriors, summon rain, and silence rebellion with a mere glare. Under his rule, Ndoro grew powerful, feared, and respected across the lands. Yet as his power increased, so did the shadow behind his eyes. Each night, when the kingdom slept, Obadele would feel the mask pose against his face, as though it breathed with him. Sometimes he swore he could hear whispers, soft at first, then louder, voices crying from within the wood. He dismissed them, thinking them echoes of his mind. But one moonless night, as he removed the mask to rest, he saw something dreadful, a faint line of red trickling from the mask's hollow eyes, glistening in the dim light. He called for his advisors. They trembled as they looked upon it. "It bleeds, my chief," one whispered, falling to his knees. "This is no gift, it is a hunger." But Obadele, proud and stubborn, refused to believe it. "The mask grants us strength. It protects my people. I will not cast it aside because of fear." Years passed. The kingdom continued to flourish, but strange things began to happen. Crops wilted overnight despite the rains. The laughter of children turned hollow. And those closest to the chief, his guards, his council, even his own wife, grew pale and weak, their vitality fading as if something unseen drained their essence. One evening, a young healer named Adisa was brought before Obadele. She was said to be born with the gift of seeing beyond the veil of the living. She looked upon the chief with sorrow and said, "You wear a mask that feeds on souls. The more power you draw, the more it takes from those you love." The whole fell silent. Obadele's hand tightened around the mask. "Lies," he said, though his voice trembled. "This mask saved us." Adisa's eyes glowed faintly, and she raised her hand toward the mask. "Then look at what it has become." The torches flickered, and for the first time, the chief saw it clearly. Beneath the sheen of polished wood, the mask seemed alive, faces of those he had lost etched into its surface, their mouths frozen in silent screams. Blood trickled down its cheeks like tears. Horror washed over him. He tore the mask from his face, but his skin came with it. He fell to his knees, crying out as the whispers roared into screams. "You cannot remove what you have become," they hissed. Adisa stepped forward, chanting an old incantation. The ground cracked, and the spirits that once blessed the mask rose, no longer kind or generous, but vengeful and cold. They surrounded Obadele, their voices merging into a single command: return what was taken. Realizing his greed and pride had doomed his people, the chief made a final choice. He pressed the mask to his chest and whispered, "Let me pay the price." The earth opened, swallowing him whole. The mask sank with him, its blood seeping into the soil until the ground hardened once more. From that day on, no one saw Chief Obadele again. The kingdom mourned, but slowly, life returned to the land. Crops grew, laughter returned, and peace settled like morning dew. But in the deepest part of the forest, travelers say they can still hear soft weeping at night, the sound of a mask that bled for power and a man who learned too late the cost of wearing it. And so, the elders teach to this day, power borrowed from the spirits always demands a debt. And when the debt is due, even a mask can cry.
Folklore.